Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is Delaney, and for today's video we're going to be ranking my influencer eyeshadow palettes. So that can mean it's an influencer brand or it can mean it's an influencer collab eyeshadow palette. So I have 10 palettes to talk about today. If you are interested in seeing which one's the best, which one's the worst, keep on watching. So it has been a hot minute since I really sat down to film. I just moved into a new house. I got a puppy. It's been a time right now. Crazy, but loving every second of it. So I do apologize for the little break I had to take in posting, but hey, I'm here. Let's get into it. Sorry, my makeup and hair is not at its peak. This is day 2 hair. I know it looks crazy, and I was at work all day today, so this is like 11-12 hour makeup with a little bit of a zhuzh. So let's just move past that and get right into the ranking. So I do have 10 palettes to talk about today, and they range from influencer collaborations to brands that influencers are the head of and are the owners of. We're starting with number 10, and that one is the worst of all of them. Let me just give a disclaimer that the ranking is not ranking the influencer, it is ranking the palette itself, the formula, the color story. Do I use it? Do I pick it up ever? It's not anything to do with the actual influencer. So starting at number 10, we have this beautiful palette right here. We have the Niki Tutorials and Beauty Bay collaboration. This, I don't actually know if it has another name other than that, but artwork, 10 out of 10, gorgeous, stunning. I love the dark side. I love the light side. It opens like this, which I love so much. Here's the color story. Very all over the place, I will say. At first, I really liked it because I thought it was very unique. But as I start to try to use it more often, it does kind of leave me a little bit uninspired. Like the random green, I don't really know what to do with. The mattes in here, the longevity is not great. At least on my eyelids, the mattes did not last very long. I kept blending and blending and blending, and they seem to blend away. That's not my preferred formula. But the shimmers were really pretty. They do crease a little bit on me, but they're pretty good. They actually feel almost like Colourpop Super Shock-ish in the way that they're kind of like putty-like, but they actually do pack a nice shimmer. So those two right here are from the palette, and they do look really gorgeous. It's just the mattes in here that don't live up to the potential, and I wish the shimmers were a little bit better. I never use it anymore. I really don't, if I'm being honest. So this is at the bottom, but Niki, I love you. I'm sorry, but this is just not it for me. Number 9, this also pains me because I really do love the influencer, but I had to put these in order, okay? So someone's gotta be on the bottom, but this is from Hot Ombre Cosmetics. This is the Smoke and Glow eyeshadow palette. This is CC Clark's brand. I really enjoy her content. She does a lot of home stuff, family stuff, and makeup content, and she just had a baby, and then now she's having another baby, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy for her, but I really do love you, CC, but I'm sorry. This is from her brand Hot Ombre Cosmetics, and this is their eyeshadow palette, and the color story to me is just very like soft glam ABH on the top and colorful on the bottom, but it's all pink mattes. Like there's no blue matte to go with this one. It's just a random pop of blue that I'm not as much of a fan of. If you're gonna put a blue in a palette, I just wish that there was a matte to go with it so you could actually do a blue look. I know that's a personal preference, but she did say that you could use these pink shades as a blush, and you could use this, you know, the shimmery shades as a highlighter, which you could kind of say that about a lot of eyeshadow palettes. I just found that the formula was okay. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either, and I found myself reaching only for the neutrals in this palette, and if I was going to do that, I would reach into a different palette altogether. So that is why this one is at the bottom, but I love you, CC. I'm sorry, but this is number 9. If you're going to try Hot Ombre Cosmetics, though, I do recommend their lip kits. They are stunning. I love her lip formula. I really do. The liquid lips, they're very comfortable, very pigmented. They have beautiful shades, and they come kind of a dual end, so you can make an ombre with your lips, which I do that anyway, but it's already in a kit. It's 2-in-1, beautiful. Definitely try it if you haven't already. But the eyeshadow palette, I wouldn't recommend as much. Moving on, number 8, we have a beautiful Halloween palette, and I do reach for it around this time of year, but sadly it's just not my favorite of the bunch. I really thought I was gonna like this more, but I just don't reach for it as often. This is the It's Freaking Bats palette from Shroud Cosmetics in collaboration with Beauty Bean, and God, I love the packaging of this palette. It's freaking bats. I love Halloween. I mean, the theming of this is just amazing. I love it so, so much. I just wish that I loved the formula more. So here is what the color story looks like. I'm in love. If these were colors, like if this was a formula that I would want to wear all the time, I would, because of these colors. I do love the color selection in here. I think it's so perfect for Halloween. I love these purple tones. They're like a cool toned, vibrant purple. And you get this deep, intense purple matte. You get this intense green matte. And then you get the lighter one to kind of brighten it up. It's almost like a slime green. I love, love, love that. And then you have this neutral green if you want to tone it down just a little bit. But the teal adds a beautiful pop. I mean, if this formula was something that I wanted to reach for more, then this palette would be probably one of my all-time favorites. Maybe it was too hyped up in my head. It took forever to get this palette. I mean, probably 6 months or more because of some shipping, and it was a pre-order and then it took forever to get to me, and kind of the hype just, you keep hyping something up and then it finally comes, and if it's not what you actually thought it would be, it's a little bit of a letdown, and sadly that's what happened here. But the color story and the theming is perfect. Beauty Bean, you did a wonderful job picking these colors. The mattes I really do enjoy. They're very pigmented. There is a little bit of fallout, but nothing too crazy. They're very blendable. I really do enjoy that. But the shimmers is where it kind of falls flat a little bit. Here are some of the shimmers, so the purple and the pink and the green. They just are okay. They're metallic, they're not glittery, they're not anything crazy, like spectacular. And that's why I just don't reach for it, because usually if I reach into colors like this, I want something that's like jaw-dropping amazing, and the shimmers just didn't do that for me. But the mattes are so good. I will still use this palette, and I'll especially use the mattes and then add a different shimmer on top, and I still get some beautiful looks. But if we're talking about just the palette itself and using it, and is it my favorite? That's why it's at number 8. All right, number 7, we have Colourpop and Raw Beauty Kristi. I love my girl Raw Beauty Kristi. She is one of the first people I started really, really watching on YouTube, and it's basically how I got into beauty YouTube. I am just, this palette is so gorgeous. So this is the At Forest Sight palette, and it just looks like a mushroom dream. It's like a watercolor painting, very like children's book, very fantasy. I don't know, like it's just gorgeous. It's artwork. It really truly is. And you open it up and it has some beautiful artwork on the inside as well. This is the color scheme. To me, it is like a muted, grungy rainbow. That's what I think of when I see this. How it's like a little bit muted. It's not as punchy and neon and vibrant, but it's beautiful. I do love it. I do think that it needed another shimmer in there. I will say, like, maybe if there was one more shimmer in here that was more of a champagne, or at least like a pinky leaning one, I think I would use this a little bit more. But I really don't have a shimmer to go with the pinks or this orange other than using the gold. And the blue and green, I'm kind of like, I don't know what shimmer to use with it other than this green here. And it just doesn't, to me, fit in my makeup style, but it's really gorgeous. The quality is amazing. If these colors are for you, if you're gonna use these every day, this would be an amazing palette. I don't think it's still available anymore. Some of these were limited edition, and I'm sorry about that, but I still want to talk about them anyway. But they're really, really gorgeous. If you love these colors, definitely see if you can find one of these. And I love to support Raw Beauty Kristi, and pretty much anything she comes out with, I'm gonna get. Next up, this one may be controversial, I don't know, because a lot of people are like diehard in love with this palette, and I do really like it. I love the formula, but if we're talking about how often I use it, that's where we kind of run into problems here, okay? So, the Tati Beauty palette. The formula is amazing. I don't really know what it is about this. I think it's just a really big palette. The formula is incredible. I do really love the mattes, especially in this palette, but there's one row of mattes and then there's a bunch of different finishes in here. The pressed glitters are actually really nice pressed glitters. The metallics leave something to be desired in my opinion. They're very subtle. I feel like for mature skin, maybe they're a little bit nicer because they're not as overly glittery. They have a nice shine to them that's very sophisticated. That's just not my makeup style usually. And then these sequin shades they're a matte with glitter in it, and I do like them, but it's not something that I reach for on the daily. This is a beautiful palette. I especially use the black, the brown, this color here, and the bone kind of shade. The orange and the berry, if I'm gonna be using those kind of tones. This is not the palette I'm gonna be reaching for. It has a beautiful mirror. It's very heavy and weighted. I am excited to see if Tati comes out with another palette, what kind of color stories she can come up with, because the formula is bomb. The formula is really good. It's just, for those 3 tones that I was gonna reach in for, am I gonna be reaching for this palette? They're very neutral. It's just a little bit bulky for me. For the shades that I actually use in the palette frequently. I do enjoy having it. I actually use this on clients for weddings. I feel like this is a beautiful bridal palette, but as for everyday wear, it's not my favorite, and the glitters especially, like, they're not something I'm gonna be wearing every day, as much as I love glitter. The glitter and the mattes are actually my favorite formulas in here, and obviously if I don't wear the glitters every day, and I have a million other eyeshadow palettes, I don't necessarily need to reach into this one immediately for those mattes. So that's why this one is at number 6, but the formula is so, so good. So Tati, you did that. She is back on YouTube and better than ever. She's doing amazing. I love watching her videos. She's so informative. I love her. Next up, we have from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. This is the Blends eyeshadow palette. The formula though, this is amazing. If you need colorful mattes, this is the palette I'm going to recommend, hands down. If you want to do creative makeup, this is it. This is all you need. And then you can do shimmers from other palettes, but this is an all matte palette. And it's just every color you would need for any colorful look. Look at this. It is just a beautiful rainbow. It almost looks like a Pantone color palette. I love it, and they're all mattes, and they have an amazing formula. They range from really light pastels to mid-tone, and then to really, really dark on the outside. You have your greens, you have the whole rainbow here. You have all of these different shades, and then you have the neutrals here. It is such a beautiful, beautiful palette. So I love this. I just don't reach for it every single day because I don't do colorful makeup looks every day, but the formula is stunning. If you want to do creative makeup, this is your gal right here. And this is from Blend Bunny, obviously, Blend Bunny Cosmetics. She does some amazing looks. I mean, I can't even come close to what she can do, but this is such a good palette. They do have a new palette out, and it's the Surge palette. I was so close to getting that, but I'm like, I have all these colors in here and I don't reach for this every day. So do I need the Surge palette? I don't know, but I want it because I love the formula and I love those colors. I just don't know if it would be worth it for me and my makeup style, especially right now. So I don't know, but I really love this palette. Number 5, the Blends palette. So, so good. At number 4, we have my favorite garbage person on YouTube. She makes me laugh. She brings me so much joy whenever she posts a video. I love her so much. The way she says Charlotte Tilbury just gets me every time, and I can't unhear that. I really can't. But this is Lethal is Dead. So this is Teresa is Dead and Lethal Cosmetics, her collaboration. This is so, so good. We're in the top 4 here, okay? We're getting into some really good stuff here. Here is the color story. So yes, 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 it's kind of rainbow-ish. Not every color of the rainbow. It's curated. You can do a lot with this palette, and I love the shimmer formula. and I love the mattes. Both of these formulas are amazing. The shimmers, they work really well. They pack a punch. They're really good applied with a finger, I think. I have not tried them with the brush, I don't think, but I'm usually more of a person who applies them with my finger anyway. But they just glow. I mean, look at that. That's the one I just swatched. It just glows, and these colors are so beautiful. I can use this especially for fall, but I think every season. I definitely could do a look with these blues and then these greens and the pinks together. I could add them all together. I'm very inspired by this color story, and I could do a more like, not natural, obviously it's very colorful, but I could do a more work appropriate look, or I could really bump up the color. There's just a lot to do with this palette, and yes, there's only three shimmers in here and more mattes, but because it's such a small palette, that's more of a curated palette for me. 3 shimmers and the rest mattes for a 9 pan. That's fine. Because then you really get those, like, those options. You could go green, you could go blue, you could go pink, and then just so on and so forth. So I really do love the curated color story in here. It's very Halloween-y too, and I think everything in here is pretty much named after something horror related, which is very Lethal is Dead. That's very Teresa's brand. But I love this palette, I really do. And this is the first thing I've ever tried from Lethal Cosmetics, and I'm very, very happy. We are down to the top 3, and all 3 of these, okay, 2 out of the 3 are limited edition, and you can't get them anymore, which makes me so, so sad. Well, you may be able to get one of them. I'm not sure. Maybe you'll bring them back, but let's just talk, okay? So, at number 3, we have Dominique Cosmetics. So that's Kristen Dominique's brand, and this is the Transition palette. This is another all matte palette, but it's all neutrals. And I love this formula. Really, I do. It's so good. And you can actually use this on the face, like as a contour. You can use these as blushes. I mean, you can use this for face and eyes, so it really is very versatile. I am in love with the tones in here. You have your cool tones, your neutrals, and your warm. You have like this mustard shade. You have a more bronzy brown tone. You have the pinky brown tones. You have the gray and the black. I mean, you could do anything from a smoky look to just plain neutral. And then this is the perfect accompanying palette to my shimmers. I have a lot of different shimmers, like singles, that I love, and this kind of a palette makes me use those, and that's what I love. I love just taking this and going into some matte and then reaching into those single shimmers. The mirror on this is beautiful. This is another wedding palette I bring to do makeup for clients, and I just love it. I really do. It's so good. The formula is so good. It's beautiful. I love the tones that she chose. I think they're perfect, and I just can't put it down. So that would be why it's number 3. But we have 2 more. All right, number 2. This one is by far the best one for Halloween, in my opinion. This is the Moonspell palette by Lunar Beauty. Can we just talk about the packaging real quick? It's a spell book. Look at like the pages, if you can see. It has like, almost looks like pages. Oh my god. I love the packaging of this palette so much. I actually have it usually on a shelf, so it actually looks, you know, like a book. But this is so Halloween, so witchy. I love it. And the color story. It's purples and neutrals and greens, and that speaks to my heart in a way that nothing else does. I mean, this is amazing. This is what I reach for 99% of the time in the fall, because I can do a green look, I can do a neutral look, I can do a purple look. I have everything in here. The one thing that makes me not want to use this as much is the shimmers. Some of the shimmers are, I don't know. I used to not really like the shimmers at all, and then I've started using them more, and I've kind of started liking them a little bit more. This one, there's some different finishes in here. So this one is like barely any glitter. It's more of like satin metallic. And then there's some like hyper glittery shades in here. I like the glittery shades more than the satin ones, but the mattes in here are the most blendable, beautiful mattes ever. And I do really like those glittery shades. I just wish that the other shimmers were like that. I know there's different formulas and different palettes and everyone likes something different. I get it. For my makeup preferences, I wish that there was more glittery shades in here, but I absolutely love the color story. I love the aesthetics of this palette. And they did just come out with volume 2 of the Moonspell palette, and it's very red and purple. This one is more me. I don't think I'm gonna grab that other one, but really gorgeous packaging, beautiful formula. I can do so much with it. I really, really love it. And I can't stop reaching for it in the fall, especially. But yeah, this is Manny MUA's brand, by the way. If you didn't know, now you know. But yeah, Lunar Beauty is Manny MUA's brand, and Manny, you did it. This is so good. I love it. I love it so much that I even kept the little thing that it comes in, because I just think that the packaging is just that good. You may be wondering, all right, where is it? I know it's here. Well, we're at number 1. And you could probably guess what number 1 is. If you've watched any of my eyeshadow palette videos, if you've watched any of my ranking videos that have palettes in them, you'll probably guess which one is at number 1. This is the Club Nebula palette from Kaleidos. If you don't know, now you know. Yeah. Angelica Nyqvist, this is her collaboration with Kaleidos. I love her. I watch all of her videos. I feel like a fangirl, but I love her. She has my makeup style. If I'm gonna do color, that's what I'm gonna do. If I'm doing color, I'm doing it all out. I'm doing it dramatic as hell, and I'm just gonna go full swing. And I love shimmers. I really love shimmers, especially like multi-chromes, duochromes, stuff like that, which a lot of these shades are duochromes, and I just love it. She loves Kaleidos, clearly. Their formula is just so good, and she loves an intense, dramatic, colorful eye. And if I'm looking for if I'm feeling in the mood for that, this is what I'm reaching for. And this actually makes me play with color, and that's what I love about a palette. This is probably one of my favorite palettes of all time. Not just influencer brand, or not just influencers, collabs, just in general. This is one of my favorite palettes of all time. I reach for it so much. And when you see the inside, you're gonna be like, wow, okay. So here is the color story. And this is not something that, like I was telling you, I'm kind of reaching for neutrals usually. If I'm reaching for colors, this is it. And the best thing about Kaleidos is their shimmer formula. I am so obsessed with their shimmer formula. I think it's my favorite shimmer formula of any brand. And the mattes are stunning. They are my favorite kind of matte. They're blendable, but still really pigmented. So here are the two right here. I'm gonna try to see if I can make it focus. Make it focus. There we go. You're gonna see my camera for a second, but look how beautiful those two are. They are so pretty. Every single shade in here is stunning. I don't really like this green. Come on. It looks like it's glowing off of my hand, okay? I will insert swatches. But look at that green. It just pops off my hand. It's beautiful. It's hyper glittery. So sparkly on the eyes. And the mattes, they're just so pigmented and blendable. And the formula just works for me. I mean, when you find that formula that works for you, you know. For me, it's like Natasha Denona, Kaleidos, and those are the top two. Colourpop is probably a close third. But yeah. I really like it. I really do. I've used this so much. I won't be surprised if I hit pan on some of the shades. If you can see the little dips that I already have in especially these deep shades. If we're talking about a palette that I go out of my way to reach for, it's this one. This is just amazing. The artwork. I mean, the artwork. Come on. She's stunning. Yeah, this is number 1. This was the easiest decision ever too. So, yeah. All right, so that was my 10 palettes ranked that are influencer collabs or influencer brands. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoy the ranking videos, please let me know, and I can definitely do more of this. Feels great to be back. And please, thank you for your patience, but I'm back and I hope to be filming some more soon. And yeah, thank you for clicking, and please do remember to hit that like button and hit subscribe as well. I would love to have you on my channel. I hope you're doing well. Please try to stay happy, healthy, and safe in this crazy, crazy world. I hope you're doing well. All right, I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.